Today's guest is my amazing dentist, Dr. Arsalan, whose story spans from Persia to Sweden and now Spain. After fleeing the Iranian Revolution in 1983, Arsalan grew up in Sweden, studied dentistry in Gothenburg, and followed in his father's footsteps. Now, he's opening his third clinic here on the coast, a space that feels more like a boutique hotel than a dental office. We talk about teeth and oral health, and he shares amazing tips for the perfect white smile. We also dive into his personal journey, the struggles he's overcome, and his exciting new chapter as he and his wife prepare to welcome their first baby, including the secrets behind their happy marriage. And we also get a tour of his stunning home. Enjoy!
Because I was born on the way when he was fleeing in a hospital, a war hospital in the north of Iran, where all the soldiers were on the floors and my mom was giving birth to me.
Wow!
5.6 kilos.
Oh my God!
He was on the top in Sweden, but it was also the IT crash. He was doing stocks, etc. So once we already moved down, all the money was lost. I've always been an anti-dentist, you know. I'm not the typical dentist, and I never wanted to become a dentist in the beginning. For example, when you have children, if they actually have candy, there's a reason why they say they should have candy once a week.
You gave me such a great tip that I've been following every day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have like 5
Which
more.
one was it?
The big question also then, as I always want to know, how long do the veneers last? That's the thing.
Yes.
Like, when do I have to change them again?
Yeah.
And like, what's going to happen then next to my teeth? How do you solve this problem?
I solved it with the help of actually Tim Story, of this motivational speaker that's a good friend of mine. Happened to meet him at the same era when I was doing all of this, and I was talking about that, and he helped me. He said to me,
what scares you the most about becoming a dad, if anything?
That was when I knew she is the one, you know.
So romantic. What is the, let's say, the secret to your marriage or your relationship with Christina?
To work together?
Yes, because
No.
you seem like a very synchronized, happy couple,
Yeah.
and like very in tune with each other. What
I'll
is
tell
your
you the secret. I tell you the secret. It's
Hello everyone, here we are in this stunning home of Arsalan. Thank you for hosting us in your house, that's so kind of you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for inviting me over, thank you for taking the time. And yeah, I can't wait to have this little chat with you, because I feel like I've known you, I don't know, 10 years for sure?
I think more, no?
But how much do you actually know about you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're a great dentist, you're a great guy, but to be honest, not that much, so I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fix that now.
Now is the time,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself, like, who is Arsalan?
Well, who is Arsalan? Yeah, good question. Yeah, to start. Let's see. I'm coming from a family that fled the revolution from Iran to Sweden in 1983. So basically, I was born in Iran, but once we moved from Iran or fled from Iran to Sweden, I grew up in Sweden. I grew up my life there, 15 years, all my childhood. I feel very Swedish in that sense.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
People
What
ask.
do you feel like?
I feel, there's always, in Sweden it's easy to say because people ask you, where are you from? And I always say, I'm from Iran because that's my origin. But when you move to Spain, it becomes difficult suddenly because they ask you, where are you from? And then you say Swedish because you feel Swedish. But
You don't look Swedish.
You don't look Swedish, so it comes straight away the second question. And it becomes, and they ask, where are you actually from? I say, my origin is from Iran. But I always say that people always ask these questions, but I think the most important question is, where have you been? You know, because it's where we've been that forms you to the person you are. And that's why I always think I grew up in Sweden until the age of 15. I can be in Spain for 20, 30 years. It doesn't matter. I will feel Swedish in my ways and in my culture. But yeah, so it's a mix. I still feel Persian, as my parents, we speak Persian together. And so yeah, that's my nationality. But yeah, so we grew up in Sweden, and after that, my parents decided to move to Spain. My dad was a dentist. He was kind of a pioneer. He moved everybody from Iran to Sweden, and then all the family, and then he moved all the family from Sweden to Spain, step by step. So yeah, we started. I started my Swedish school here in the Swedish gymnasium. So I was studying with the Swedish grades, and then I moved back to Sweden, to Gothenburg, to study dentistry. And that's from when I was done, I moved back here again.
But why such a jump from Sweden to Spain? Where did your dad get this idea?
So yeah, I think he always said, like, he felt after 15 years he had, because he started all over when he moved from Iran. It was the revolution, he was politically active. They were basically hunting him, and he had to flee 6 months over the mountains of Turkey with crazy stories to be able to reach freedom, basically, to be able to come to Turkey. And then me and my mom, because I was born on the way when he was fleeing, in a hospital, a war hospital in the north of Iran, where all the soldiers were on the floors and my mom was giving birth to me.
Wow.
5.6 kilos.
Oh my God.
So I think I told you once about
that. What a legend your mom is.
she
And your dad.
Yeah, they were both. And then the uncertainty of my not knowing if my dad have arrived to Turkey. And then once he was there 6 months later and everything was safe, we moved there. And there, FN or UN, they helped us to go either to Australia, Sweden, Canada, and it became Sweden in that. So then that was the source. So he basically moved everybody to Sweden, and in Sweden he felt this missing something. You know, after in the beginning he started all over again, because he was studying architect already in Iran. But when he moved to Sweden, he had to start learning Swedish. He did it in 1 year.
Wow.
He became a dentist within 3 years. He became working as the boss of the Swedish government dentistry after 7 years. And then within 15 years, he had reached the max there, where he was already having 2 clinics and everything was going good. And he's like, that's it. We need to go back to something that reminds us more of Iran, you know, climately. And Spain was one of our favorite holiday destinations.
But why Marbella? Of all the Spain.
Yeah, we did go a lot to Gran Canaria. We went to Mallorca. We went, of course, to this mainland here, Malaga, Fuengirola. It was mostly Fuengirola we went to. For some reason, it was Fuengirola. No, it was because of my Swedish school. It was in Fuengirola. That's why. Yeah.
Yes.
So then we thought to live in an island is a little bit more complicated. It's more easy to live in the mainland. I think it doesn't feel so claustrophobic in a way. So because of the Swedish school, I think, because we were really liking it, and I was excited. I was 15. I was like, oh, new school, new country. So because everything just melded together, we decided let's try to move here.
So everything was falling into the right place.
Into the right place, yeah.
But what a legend your dad is. Wow, like incredible person. So you had an incredible role model, actually.
Definitely.
Someone who is fighting for the family, fighting for his life, for the career, so
and he had to start over again when he came here, because unfortunately, as he was on the top in Sweden, but it was also the IT crash. He was doing stocks, etc. So once we already moved down, all the money was lost.
Oh my God.
So he had to start working for a Spanish dentist in an old place somewhere, and going from there again to do the same steps that he did. So he did that, and he started working as the head of Kiron dentistry. I worked with him there. He helped me open my clinic in Riviera. That was my first clinic. And then unfortunately he passed away suddenly. We came really sudden in the age of 54.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But what a
crazy
legacy he's carrying.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, you should be, and of yourself. And that's why also you probably have this drive and determination that you've seen it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things fell into place as well when he passed away, because it was a moment of pivoting everything, because until then you have the support of someone really strong, which makes you really, you reach certain level, but you don't pass that level because you don't need to, you know, you have the support of someone. But I really remember that in all of the sorrow of all the frightening feelings of, now I have to take care of my mom, now I have to take care of my brother, in all that, suddenly like something happened and I just went through the roof with my career. Like everything just, I managed to earn the money I needed to pay all our debts that he had left us, and everything just fell in place. And I felt like sometimes you need to get in that position to be able to excel, you know?
Yeah, sometimes the hard moments are the ones that actually help you push further. I know.
Exactly.
We all had this. I haven't lost a parent,
Yeah.
but I can imagine how devastating it is. But it's true
Yeah.
that sometimes in the pain you find the strength, and like you have a family of your own now.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
There we are.
I was thinking this is very Lion King moment.
Yeah,
You
it
do
is.
feel like it's so sad when the father passes away, but
Yeah.
he finds the strength,
Exactly.
And there you go, Lion. Hello.
And then you also think about another thing, because now I'm going to become a dad.
Yes.
Like, how much do you support your children? How much freedom do you give them to excel? If you're going to be in all of their decisions and show them everything, maybe they will always be your apprentice.
Yes.
It's called, no, apprentice. But they will never be the leaders themselves until you are not here anymore. You know?
How did your father do it? How did he?
I think
what did
he. No, but in some way he did it in a way that kept me still inside. He had everything in his own head, you know. And he was the one, you know. And I had to just try to I had two ways: either to do totally different from what he said, or become his apprentice.
You're so cute.
This is
You're
Korkchi.
so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
She likes to be in.
Oh,
the
you want to be a
camera.
star.
Yeah.
You are
She's a star here.
But these moments probably really shape your life, and like you said, it was sudden. So you kind of, how do you even prepare for that?
Yeah, it was a moment of a revelation, and it took a few years, but it was a lot with the help of Christina as well. Christina that was the moment I met Christina, like 1 year before my dad passed away, and the way she helped me, my wife Christina, the way she helped me through these heavy moments, that was when I knew she is the one, you know.
So romantic. And now you're married, you're having
now
a baby.
We're married.
Now we're getting to the end of the story.
Yeah.
Now we have to rewind. Oh, you want to come here?
You want to go up?
Come.
Go up there.
Come on. Come here. Come.
Go down.
You're really beautiful cat. Is she like a special species?
She's a Maine Coon. She's like a dog.
You're a dog.
Our dog is like a cat, and our cat is like a dog.
You're gorgeous, really. Honestly. Okay, so let's go a little bit back. So
Yes.
I remember also you had the Riviera clinic.
Yeah.
And like I said, you were doing good.
Yeah.
So it was. Oh, hey! So it was really after your father's that where you just started expanding, because I feel like also at one point you just like bloomed in a way.
Yeah. That was the moment. That was the moment, because even the Riviera clinic, when we opened it, it was like a hole in the wall. We had reception and dental chair in the same room. It was basically 25 square meters.
Yeah.
So when my dad passed away, I took the local next to it, expanded. I started to go with the ideas I had. Because, even though he was my role model, you have younger ideas. And that was where we always headbutted a little bit, He was like, let's do ads on radio. And I'm like, that's not the way to do it. It's like social media now. And, So I think at some point it was time for me to take over and do it my way. And then it bubbled up. It was from the Riviera. Then some friends told me, like, why don't you open a clinic in Puerto Banús? All your patients are coming from Marbella to Riviera. I'm like, I could do that, but I was always afraid of one fact, and I was like, if people are coming for me and I open 2 clinics, how is that going to be? How can I be in both places?
That's true. How do you solve this problem?
I solved it with the help of actually Tim Story, this motivational speaker that's a good friend of mine. Happened to meet him at the same era when I was doing all of this, and I was talking about that, and he helped me. He said to me, he helped me navigate in this so I could try to, because he said a very important thing. He said, when you expand a business or when you grow a business, people like to hear the story of you. they don't really care about the clinic. It's you. So somehow you have to implement that. And that's when we decided, like, the idea was like, okay, let's open a clinic and call it Ace Dental Studio, because Ace is also a double meaning. It's what I'm called, and it's also Ace. Ace means something good, the best, top. So that way I could actually have different clinics and try to still be the persona and try to implement a protocol that is the ACE protocol. And then I can headhunt good dentists that could just follow this protocol, and sooner or later it will be okay. People will not just come for me, but they know I run, or I'm there. I'm gonna be involved in everything.
It's like a personal brand for you, sort of. No, you are the face of it. And
exactly.
You're like your soul, and also the interior is also so beautiful. And I think it's true. Like, they will follow your lead anyway. You're like the head dentist. They'll follow your protocol, your ways. The same, like, let's say, I know a very good Pilates teacher, Millie. She was also very scared of opening her own studio. She said, also people come for me, you know? But now she's doing very well because she's taught her ways to the other teachers. So I think it must be a scary moment. But
exactly. And
it's worth taking the risk.
As long as you have the vision clear, because when I opened, I really, really wanted to. I've always been an anti-dentist. I'm not a typical dentist, and I never wanted to become a dentist in the beginning. That's another story for its own. I will go in there as well.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I never wanted to. I wanted to become a designer, or I wanted to do something creative. Because my mom is, although my dad was a dentist, my mom is, and all her family are on the creative side. They do sculptures, painting, singing, anything you say. Yeah? So I have that gene in me as well. And I was a little bit going against my father, because he always wanted me to become a dentist. And just because of that, I was a little bit like, I don't know, maybe I should just go, why should I listen to you? Maybe I should just do what I love. People say always in school, you should do what you love. I don't know if I love dentistry. And then until my mom said, listen, don't do dentistry. Just go to this design school you wanted to do. And once she said that, it was like, it's a trap here. Like, I was like, something is not right here. So I decided, no. Okay, I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to become a dentist. I'm going to earn the money, and then I'm going to open up a design studio with that money. And that's it. That's my dentist career over.
And here you are.
Here I am. Here I am, fell in love with become a dentist. I realized a lot of things. I realized that becoming a dentist it's kind of an incredible profession. People always think dentistry, high suicide rate. Dentistry, boring, but to be a dentist, you do so many things together. You work with your hands, you problem solve, you meet people, you're social. If you own a clinic, you do the marketing. You're a businessman. It's always new things, and it's always like a circle of things. So you don't do one thing, or you don't do only cleanings. You do always different things. So, and then when I found that I can do design in people's mouths, that's when I...
Yeah, and you have to be creative in your, like you said, in your job, the ways you market, the way you plan in the offices, and all of that is also being creative.
And that is my passion. That is my passion. And if you would ask me what I would love to do after this, or when I can, is to be the creative manager of my clinics. Because that's what I was going into before, the vision, that you have to have a clear vision. This vision is about, like, I wanted to change the traditional feeling of a clinic. I didn't want to have blue, green, hospital walls, smell of dentistry. I wanted you to come in and you feel that you're in a boutique hotel, The smells feels like you're in a nice boutique, a Zara or something, You should remind it in a nice way.
And relaxed.
That's it should be harmony, soothing, That's the first thing. And then the way I'm talking to the patients, I'm not going to be standing up and looking down and teaching my patients. I'm going to sit leveled, eye to eye with my patient. I'm going to talk to them as friends. I'm not going to tell them, you have to do this. I'm going to be very transparent. And that is my way. And I knew I had a way And this is the way when I headhunt dentists, I'm trying to teach them.
You're going to be an amazing dad. Judging by all of it, what you said, this is, if you do that with your kids, this is all they want.
Yeah.
For you to be in their level, not to like downgrade them,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Yeah.
open, transparent.
100, yeah.
This is what kids
Yeah.
need, because I feel like a bit of the old way was like, don't talk kids, you are like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
lower because you're smaller.
Exactly.
You know, of course there's routines, there's boundaries, but I feel
Exactly.
like
There's a balance always,
yeah,
no?
but I also try to treat them as adults.
Exactly.
The same,
Exactly.
and give them a bit more control, and actually then they make really good decisions, and
It's
they
like that.
also, you kind of earn the respect in a nice
Exactly.
way. So yeah, I love your clinic, and I love the way you are with the patients, obviously with friends too, but
Yeah.
I feel like you're honest, and I can ask you anything, and I don't know, I just love, there's like this transparency there that I don't see in other clinics, and I guess that's the key to your success too.
Well, hopefully it is, yeah.
For sure.
Then I would feel like proud, yeah.
And your beautiful home. I mean, you are probably the creator of the home as well.
Well, yeah, together with Christina.
I mean,
we,
this is stunning. And I know you also do the audio visuals behind your. I mean, I thought I'd do many things, but I'm like, this is incredible what you do. You do so many things. You have so many talents.
Yeah,
like, who knew, honestly.
The creativity is something that actually can go into every part of life. So I'm super happy to have both from my dad the logical part and have the creative part from my mom, because you can be you can grow your business so big with just being creative. You can present things, because what you in the end, I love beautiful things, you know, and for me to have an eye for beautiful things means I can design things good, and I think that is a strength that I have. And I like to, when we planned this house, this was to make our own sanctuary and to be free. And I told the architects that were helping me, because the thing is, I first wanted to go with an architect that has his own ideas and didn't want us to implement. So I found younger ones that really listened to what we had to say. And I told them, I want to make a house that doesn't have to be practical, as you see, but I wanted to be on the front covers of architect magazines, you know, and they were like, wow, this is going to be a fun project, you know, and that's where we went.
And it is like proper wow, but also very, just, you know, feel very free here, and sort of like part, like one with the nature, and like it's very relaxing.
Very relaxing.
Like
it's a sanctuary.
Like your office.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like got the same vibes, like very beautiful aesthetics and simple and clean, and yeah, less is more, definitely.
Less is more, yeah. One of the things, like you can see later in the house, all the colors are very monotone and very harmonic, and I don't have any paintings on the walls, and that's for a reason, because I think the main painting here is looking out of the window.
Yes.
This becomes so much stronger when inside is just neutral, where a lot of people are like, why don't you hang a big painting there, a painting there? I'm like, no, I want this to be effectful.
No, and it is like, really the nature is the art here. It's stunning. But let's go back a little bit to your office, and let's talk a little bit about oral health and dentistry too, because you gave me such a great tip that I've been following every day. And I'm sure you have like 5 more.
Which one was it?
You were checking my teeth, and you were asking if I'm drinking something acidic. And I'm like, no, I don't drink Coca-Cola, I don't drink juice actually much. And it was the lemon water that I drink in the morning that I thought is so healthy for you, which it is. But now I'm drinking it with a straw. So such a small tip, you know, can really help. So do you have any other good tips?
Yeah, but to go back to that, I mean, often it is things that are healthy in one way might not be healthy in another way, and you have to look at the whole body. This lemon thing is a trend, people, and it is healthy for you to drink it with, actually it's even healthier to drink it with warmer water, I guess, no?
Yeah, but I've been doing it, honestly, 15 years. I know it's like a trend now.
No, it doesn't matter, but it's like something that people, my mom used to do it back in the day. She told me, you have to do it, but you know, then you learn that even the water that is warmer together with the lemon is even worse, because then it's heat and chemistry, that erosion for the teeth, Another example of that is when you look at diets. They always say, now they change all the time, but they used to say you should eat many times a day, but little, you know? That was before all the fasting stuff
Yes.
came, yeah. But that is very bad for the teeth. In the dentistry, for oral health, we always say you should eat as little as possible, but proper. Like you have your 3 meals and maybe 1 meal in between, because you don't want to give that acidic attack to your teeth more times. For example, when you have children, if they actually have candy, there's a reason why they say they should have candy once a week, because they don't expose their teeth for sugar more than once. And there's some children that take that bag of candy and then hoard it and then take one every 10 minutes. That is the worst you can do.
All right.
It's better to tell your child, put everything in your mouth,
Get it over
get
with.
rid of that, wash your mouth with some water, and then that's over, you know, instead of giving yourself. So that's another one.
And any other tips that you have?
Yes, brushing the teeth, yeah? When you brush your teeth in the morning, it's always important to not do it straight after breakfast, yeah? Some people do it after breakfast because they think that's logical. You eat and you want to have clean teeth, which you can do, but you should be careful, because if you have, again, an acidic juice or something, and then on top of that, you take the brush and you start rubbing on top of your teeth, you're mechanically and chemically eroding away your teeth. And that can be also in the same subject, people that are anorectic or bulimic, bulimic, that tend to throw up and straight after the vomit, go and brush, so people don't see. That's even stronger acidic. So you can easily see who is bulimic or not when they come to the dentist, depending on how their teeth have been worn away. Yeah.
And can you kind of really get that back? There's no way to.
Once the
build it
enamel,
back?
no, once the enamel is gone, you can strengthen your enamel with calcium, with fluoride. There's a lot of things that you have in the natural toothpaste and the normal.
And cell salts?
Sorry?
Cell salts? Have you heard about cell salts?
No.
They're like minerals, like let's say the basic minerals, the
Okay.
cell salts. I take them sometimes.
Okay.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it helps. I'm gonna give
Yeah,
you some.
I should look at that. I should look
Test
that
it,
in. Yeah.
test it.
But you know, to an extent, these things help, because once the enamel is gone, enamel is something that is 96% unorganic. It's like bone. You lose the bone there, it doesn't grow back really, you know. So that's where my profession comes in a lot, to restore the teeth with veneers, for example, because veneers, porcelain veneers, are actually acting like a new form of enamel that can protect the teeth.
But what's the difference between veneers and laminates?
Okay, good question. As with a lot of things in the world, there is people that brand some things. You know, laminates was some guy that was smart that just called it laminates. You know, it's like I was thinking about calling our veneers, when they become so specific to ours, ace veneers.
Yeah.
You know, and if that becomes famous,
Yes.
people are going to ask in a different podcast, what's the difference between ace
Yeah.
veneers and veneers? But the only thing is that laminaires was made, the word, because somebody managed to make the veneers very thin. Said, well, I'm going to market it like laminaires, luminaires or laminaires or whatever. There's so many different. And then that became like a trend, and people like, I want that.
All
that.
right.
But a veneer can be as thin as any laminaire, and it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
So basically, it's a thickness.
It's a thickness. And nowadays we can do veneers so thin, like 0.4 millimeters. So even now, when we doing veneers that goes all around the tooth, that back in the days was called crowns, because you had to prep the teeth to a small little peg. Now we don't need to do that. We always can be minimal invasive. And then we call that also a veneer, but a overlay veneer. I don't like to say crown, because people get, no, I don't want a crown. Okay, you're gonna get an overlay veneer, and then it's okay, because it is actually so thin now, and yeah, it's a word game, you know.
But what is like the biggest misconception about having veneers and laminates? I'm even a little bit like hesitant,
Yeah.
you know, to get it, because I've been considering to do it.
Yes,
And
I know.
I'm still a little bit like, you know, I feel like I need to do maybe my research. Obviously, I trust you, but maybe there is something that people get wrong, because you see it all the time. You've seen it so many years. You see what happens to the teeth.
100%. It's the worry that I always get is, are you gonna touch my teeth? Are are you going to shave
Yeah.
away my enamel? That's a very big
Like,
question.
what's going to happen to my teeth?
What's
Like
gonna
you
happen
said,
to
they're
my
like,
teeth?
they're not
Yeah.
going to really grow back. So
Exactly.
It's
So it's interesting because like I get that question all the time. I put a nice smile makeover up and people look at it and they're like, the first question is not how much does it cost,
like,
will you touch my teeth? And that's like a fear people have for some reason, which is understandable, but for some reason it's more okay to have this question to the dentist when it comes to veneers. But just to make an example, what if you would go to operate your breast or your nose, and would you tell
what's
the
going to happen with my nose?
are you gonna touch my nose? No, I'm gonna put a plastic nose on top of your nose and let it rot, you know? So it's the same. I always say that it's a worse situation if you don't shave your teeth when you actually need to shave the teeth, because then you make teeth that are more bulky. And when you make teeth that are more bulky, you will have much more problems later. First problem is bleeding gums. Second problem is bad breath. It's going to look like a crime scene in there. You're going to start losing your gum, your bone, and all of that is so much worse than actually shaving your teeth. But of course, people don't know about that. So that's their first question. So for me, I like to be very transparent with this and tell the patient exactly how much we're going to shave, and that the reason we're shaving is to reach the maximum hygiene, the most beautiful result that you want, and that it's going to be long lasting, but minimal. That's always in the back of us head. Don't take more than you need. And there is a logic to it as well that I try to explain, that if a patient comes with small teeth, we can put the veneers almost without touching them on top. And if they are big teeth, it's logical. We cannot put something on top of it. You're going to get Bugs Bunny teeth, But a lot of dentists make the marketing like this as well. They're like, put a smile makeover on Instagram, and a lot of dentists in Marbella already, they like non-prep veneers. That's all the publicity, and they will get all of the people going to them. Once they get in the chair, they're like, yeah, you're not a candidate. I don't like to do that kind of marketing. It bothers me a little bit, and it makes people like, he does non-prep. Why don't
like,
you? Like,
looks like it's better or something.
Exactly. But in the end, it's not. It's worse.
Yeah. And have you seen a lot of these kind of bad veneer jobs?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my
And then
God.
they come to you, and but you can still fix.
It's possible to change them, but I always say, tell them, like, if you've done it here, at least in Spain, because a lot of them is done around us, clinics around. No, but a lot of it is around us. And they come. I say, go back to them and see what they can do. I never like to talk bad of any other dentist, because there's reasons for everything. Even this dentist, maybe there's dentists in Turkey that people talk bad about all the time, and they see some pictures on Instagram or somewhere on the internet that the teeth are shaved really small, and it becomes a viral thing. But what if that patient that came to this clinic had so rotten teeth that everything around, all his enamel was soft? What does this dentist do? He cleans them up. What's left? Small little pegs, and then he puts crown on it. That could be a case, but it could also be much worse. It could be that the dentist don't know what he's doing, and he just shaves the teeth because it's easier. It's easier to make the teeth very, very small, and you don't need to have a high precision lab. You can just put any kind of crown on top, and then all the bacteria get around, and so that's they come to us. They come to us at least once a week.
Wow.
Wow. I have a remake.
So don't do a remake. Just get it right.
Get it right.
First time,
Get it right.
nice.
And do it somewhere close so you can actually.
Go for a revision.
So you can do. I think it's important.
Not Turkey that you have to fly back then.
Imagine you do anything else with your body. You do some. I mean, you can do nose. You can do, I don't know, eye surgeries and everything, maybe abroad. It's not as much needing to compliance, Teeth, we're talking about 24 teeth. Each one of them could have an issue or some problem and needs adjustments. You need to have a guarantee. You need to be able to, be close to your dentist. I think it's important.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think actually the pricing in your dentist office is at all as expensive as I thought. So I think it's
It's fair.
And
that's because we have our own lab. Yeah, we can press down the prices because we produce our own teeth.
But the big question also then, as I always want to know, how long do the veneers last? That's the thing.
Yes.
Like, when do I have to change them again?
Yeah.
And like, what's going to happen then next to my teeth?
Yeah. So let's say a general number people talk about is 10 years when it comes to veneers. And when we talk about crowns, when it goes all the way around, they talk about 25, 30 years. Why veneers 10 years? Because if you do veneers that are very thin on the wrong kind of bites, for example, a bite that is close together, like this, and the bite is always on top of the veneers, they tend to come off very easy. Yeah, then the dentists have to understand and plan a bigger picture and tell the patients either you have to raise the bite or you have to basically make veneers that goes a little bit around the corner so it doesn't come off. You have to plan it differently. But many times the planning is not done right. And when the planning is not done right, it goes quick. But I would say veneers, if they're well made, they can last up to 20 years. The reason you would change would more be that there's a new material, or you're tired of the color or something that you just want to refresh them, and then you do it.
So how often do you get these kind of new materials and new technologies, or
Good.
when was the last time you changed?
So we are learning every day.
Wow.
Like the material we've used now the last 3 years, the newest one, which is the apple of the materials out there. Because in dentistry, another misconception is that the material can be, for example, zirconia of the veneer, and zirconia is just the name of many different kinds of zirconia. And there's brands within the zirconia. It's like cars. You have Ferrari, you have Fiat, you have Volvo. It's important what kind of zirconia, because when you see two prices, Turkey, zirconia, 100 euros, Ace Dental Studio, 700 euros, then you're like, well, I go to Turkey.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, because zirconia can be anything. So we have a very good material. What I'm saying about learning is that then, because we have our own lab, we are experimenting with how to, when we mill this veneer, how to do the makeup on it. Yeah, you can do it with pencil, with 3D staining. You can take the milled veneer and take a burr with your hand and take away material, and then add porcelain on top of it and put it back in the oven, and then it becomes very translucent. That's called cutback system. If you do that with a 3D staining, you can make the teeth look super natural.
Wow.
Super natural.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to come to the clinic and film all of that.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And that's very creative also, like you're saying, it's new ways coming up, and you can be part of that process.
Exactly.
Very, very interesting. But I actually also read some stats, like how important, and I've listened to them podcasts, how important actually oral health is, how it's linked to so many other diseases. And even they're saying like untreated gum disease can increase the risk of premature birth by 7 times.
Yeah, you see?
So it's crazy, like you don't go to the dentist, you can have a problem with your baby. And I mean, obviously so many other conditions, Alzheimer's, arthritis, you name it. So
I imagine the mouth is the entrance for everything to go into our body. We have an entrance and we have an exit, no? And the entrance, imagine that in this entrance you have tissues like gums and teeth, which can have millions of bad bacteria. And that's the gateway of going into your body, obviously. You don't get a bacteria as easy through your skin into your heart. Obviously, from your blood, yes, you can get blood poisoning and it goes straight to your organs and you die, or you get very serious things. But the mouth is open. If you have a bad gum health, if you have gingivitis, parodontitis, serious issues with bad bacteria in the mouth, you can get all kinds of health issues. So the statistics are not lying there. I think it's definitely worth going for cleanings regularly.
how often would you recommend to go?
So here's the thing, it's very individual because everybody has different genes and there's so many factors. Yeah,
Different habits and
different habits, but most of the times 2 times a year is enough. But I think the best way is to go to a hygienist that is good, that will make you a custom-made plan for you. They will look at you, she will say, you need 4 times a year for now. And then after a year, now we can go down to 3. It's like, you know, a plan.
Or skincare is the same, no?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
or, yeah.
You start off with some...
I think healthcare should be like that going forwards with everything. With
Exactly.
doctors or diets, no? It should be personalized.
It should be personalized, exactly.
And one big question that I also asked you in the clinic, but I'll ask because I'm sure people want to know. Tell me about flossing.
Yes.
Is it important? How often do we need to do it?
Right. You want me to be transparent? Yeah.
Yes, I want you to be honest.
I'm honest.
Because I look at your teeth also, and I mean, they look great.
Yeah. No.
And if you have veneers, do you still need to floss?
Definitely. Even more, I would say.
Okay.
Not because they get more dirty, but it's more efficient to floss than brush even when you have veneers. Because the brush will touch surfaces of the veneer that is always going to be clean anyway. There is no entrance from there to your under teeth because the veneer becomes one with your tooth, no? But the closed surface between the veneer and the gum and between the teeth, those are the places that the brush that have a lot of strokes on it and is big sometimes don't reach. But with one flossing technique that I always teach my patients, you get that easily. So you could live, don't tell anyone I said that, you could live with
Without
only
brushing?
flossing and if you have veneers actually. If you have veneers, you could do that, but it's not recommendable. You should do both, of course. And how many times I do it? I do it 2-3 times a week. I don't do it more often because I feel I have it under control, and I know where to floss because depends on how crowded your teeth are or how much.
You know where you're kind of
where you normally get the bleedings and yeah.
Okay.
But it's magic. Flossing is magic if you do it right.
Yeah, and you have to show me your technique.
I'm
not sure if I have the right technique. I love these little picks that have that thing.
Those, unfortunately,
they're not good.
Cannot do the same technique because that is like go down and up. You know, you need to push against a surface and then push. You know, like the floss dance.
Like a towel, basically.
Yeah, like a towel, exactly. Like that, rub it against one surface, and then once you're there, you rub it against the other surface, and then you pull it through. That's the flossing. You can do a dance of that later if you want.
Yeah, you show me. So we spoke about the laminates. Is there any other health tips you would give people? And what about toothpaste? Like, oh my God, it's such a big subject also. And fluoride.
Yes.
I mean, I've been actually using toothpaste without fluoride.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is that good? Is that bad? Tell me the truth.
Okay, no, in my opinion, the way I was taught, that fluoride was a very important factor to prevent holes, caries in the teeth. And I believe it is, because it is one of the 4 most important factors, and it has something that protects and builds in, it helps calcium build in, and it helps remineralize the teeth. And I've seen patients that stopped fluoride toothpaste and start to get more holes. I've seen that. But who can say it's only because of that? Can be because they didn't brush good or they eat a lot of candy. Because to get a hole or to get bad teeth, let's talk about teeth, not gums now, because the fluoride is only for the teeth, To get a hole, there's 3 things that needs to interrelate to be able to happen. Is the kind of bacteria that you have there, the sugary food you eat, and the lack of brushing or fluoride, basically. Not just fluoride, but to everything that's in a toothpaste normally. So if those 3, if one of them is not working, that's when you produce the hole. So you never know if it's exactly for that, but people are afraid of fluoride, which I understand, and I always say, don't eat it, don't eat it. Wash your mouth with it, but don't swallow it. Then I don't care about all the other, if people don't want to drink it in the water, well, don't do it. But when it comes to brushing, you're not actually eating it. You're just brushing your teeth and it helps. That's my tip normally.
And that's what you use as well?
I always use fluoride,
Okay, we're going to check your toothbrushes in your
100%.
I want to see, because that's another thing, like there's motorized and there's like super hard ones, soft ones.
And that's a very important, soft, always soft. Because then you can go closer to your gums without hurting your gums, and it cleans as good. And when it comes to electric or normal brush, I always recommend going for the one that you are doing better with, you know, you use. If you do it right with a normal brush, it's good enough. The good thing with an electric brush is that the head is small, so it's round, so you go tooth by tooth. You know, whereas when you brush, you might miss some teeth, especially if you have crowded teeth.
Yeah, and you can also reach maybe.
You can reach better on certain places in the back. Exactly. It's not so easy to brush with a normal brush in the back.
Yeah. And which one do you use?
I use a normal brush, soft normal brush, and I change every 2 months. Yeah.
Every 2 months.
Yeah.
We're getting good tips here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write them down because I don't think I can remember. So enough about work.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your private life.
Okay.
Well, because it's not so private, because you work together with your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everyone knows her too, and she's so lovely.
Yeah.
And you're starting a family.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Are you a bit terrified? Are you ready? What are your thoughts?
I think I should be ready because I've been living my life to the maximum until now, and I think it's like next chapter, or let's say next book. I've done the chapter, but next book, because it's going to be a huge change. I know that, but I have such a supportive, like I trust our relationship so much, so I see it also as a good adventure, you know. And I think we need that adventure because you cannot do the same thing, especially me, because I get bored of everything so quick. I need to go in cycles all the time, and I feel this cycle is a little bit done, and I look forward to go to the next book, but then sometimes read from the old book chapter, you know, so I can. I think it's going to make more to life.
Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, nobody likes boring. You need to spice it up and try new things.
Exactly.
But what scares you the most about becoming a dad, if anything?
That I have no idea what to do with a baby.
Well, you have still time.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to read up about it either. I don't want to learn about it. I just want it to come.
That's true. But I mean, was helpful. I went to this like a baby, let's say like this course that they were offering.
Yeah.
And that was actually super beneficial, and especially, well, I didn't have my family here with me, because I think back in the day, your mom and everyone, aunties and grandmas would come and help you bath the baby, and I had no clue about that. And they don't teach you these things in school.
No.
Nowadays, thankfully, we have ChatGPT, Google, YouTube, so you can YouTube everything.
Exactly.
But it was actually really helpful, and I went together with my husband back then, and it was really nice. And it was like part of the Sanitas insurance.
Yeah.
It was great. They were talking about the birth, a little bit about how to help the baby, and it was great.
But did you do it yourself or with your husband?
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
And it was great. They were teaching also these breathing methods.
Yeah. Everybody says that, but I'm like, I don't know.
No, but I think you're a doctor already. You're quite cool and calm.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a bit different, but
hopefully, or I will panic. Yeah.
No.
Let's see.
Well, let's see.
No,
you have time.
It's going to be exciting, though. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, but what is the, let's say, the secret to your marriage or your relationship with Christina?
To work together?
Yes, because you
No.
seem like a very synchronized, happy couple, and like very in tune with each other.
I'll tell you the secret. I tell you the secret. It's that we always respect each other, and we did it from the beginning. And we always knew that if you pass a certain level of disrespect to each other by, for example, in certain like fighting and telling each other names or something, you already break a sort of barrier. And then the next time you do worse, and then the next time you do worse. And then it can lead to anything, you know. That's how people and human work, I think. And I think the secret was always to go forward with kindness. And if you're so kind to each other, you cannot be mad at each other. Even if something happens, you're like, I can't be mad at you, you know. And that was all the way from the beginning. And we still haven't called each other names, like in this past 10 years now, because I don't know. It works just like having that harmony and kindness together all the time, and it is challenging to work together if we're going in all that. But it also have a lot of nice perks, a lot of nice perks. Like we can take vacation together when we want. I don't have to wait for her or she have to wait for me to get holidays. She helps me with all the things that puts pressure on me. I have a lot of pressure at work as well with different patients and cases. She's the one that helps, and she's supporting me. She's the star, actually.
They always say, like, behind a great man is a great woman.
Oh, she's
That's her.
That's her, and I'm the one that want to move forward all the time, and she's the one that regulates the brake a little bit. But she's adventurous and she trusts, and that's another thing. She trusts me so much, and she looks at me. I think sometimes, like she looks up to me, and I think that you should look up to each other. I look up to her. She looks up to me. If you don't look up to each other, if you hit each other down all the time, it's not a nice relationship. So we try to follow that.
It's going to bring the relationship down. It's so nice how you support each other and you talk so kindly about each other.
Exactly.
And I asked her also, actually, behind the scenes, something about you. And like, what would be something that people wouldn't know about you? And she said that you are actually an exceptional family man, which is so sweet. So you're definitely ready to start a family. And yeah, it's very, very sweet. And like you said, you have a lot of stress, I can imagine, and expanding businesses and of course building homes and all of this. But you seem so calm and cool. How do you manage stress? What's your routine? Do you do mindfulness, meditation, or you just
the house helps me a lot now, but I have a good routine, I think. Not as good as Christina. Christina is superhuman. She wakes up 5 in the morning. She reads a book before I wake up even, and she's been running 10 kilometers. Then I wake up, and then I wake up and I try to train a little bit. Sometimes I try to meditate. It's hard for me to meditate because I have a little bit of tinnitus, and it's becoming worse with the years. And sometimes when it's too silent, I feel like this ringing in my ears and I cannot concentrate. But I think for me to manage everything is that I don't overwork when it comes to, I'm good at dividing up everything. Like my working hours are not too bad. I do work 3 days a week, half time. So I have a little bit extra time for that creative engine of running the clinics. And the social media, and then the audio visuals and all this. But because I'm a person of getting bored very quick of something, if I have a lot of different aspects and nuances to my life, I think that gives me a harmony in itself.
Keeps you balanced.
The balance gives me harmony.
Yeah, otherwise you're doing 12-hour workday.
I would be done then. You're more done of doing one thing, like problem solve 10 hours and you're done. But problem solve 2 hours and then do something creative, get your dopamines out in the creative 2 hours, then you've balanced that. And then you do 2 hours of something else, talking with patients like friends, then it's 2 hours of that. So you're like splitting up your day to be able to manage a lot of things without getting run down.
Yeah, because like you said, becoming a dentist might seem like, but you choose your life. You choose the way you work. You choose the kind of life you want to live. So you're a good example of how you don't have to be working 12 hours in a hospital to be a doctor.
You don't have, people do it and people love it, but that's the typical dentist, you know. You do it the way you like it. You can always, you know, we are people that we adjust, no? And whatever you choose, you motivate yourself into that. That is the right way, you know.
Yeah, but I also think it's almost like working smarter. You know.
Yeah.
And when you work smarter, you actually can earn more.
Yeah.
Whereas you're working a lot of hours, you're burnt out in the end.
That's to do with mentality, 100%. Yeah. Some people. I remember one thing to say that now because my dad gave me he was doing a reform in a local and he told us something about I want you guys, like he wanted us to work, and he said you have to put all this floor in this local one by one, and I will give you this amount of money. And I remember that moment I said, all right, he'll give me this amount of money. So I went out, I found a guy that was professionally doing this, that was cheaper than what my dad was going to pay me. I always try to find smart ways of getting out of it's laziness as well. Yeah,
Well,
being
but also-
efficient.
Yeah, but finding, it's also being smart. If you're lazy, you're not going to be bothered by calling someone,
No,
finding
no,
another
exactly. Yeah,
price.
yeah,
So I think it's being smart.
Try to, yeah.
You know, any fool can be busy. You have to
Yeah.
choose where you put your busy hours.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
You can, you know,
That's true.
I can clean, or I can get a cleaner, and maybe in those hours I can do 10 times
Exactly.
more work.
Yeah. But for
than I
me, it
would,
comes
you know?
a little bit to the extreme because I have even issues of, it's the mindset. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I run, I hate running back.
Okay.
You know, it's like I feel like
You're going back.
I'm going back. It's like not efficient to run back. It has to be a circle.
All right.
A lot of, if I drive down and I forget my keys, the
feeling of having
anger
to
I
go
get
back.
to go back. Whereas Christina was like, I go back
Yeah.
and get the key.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can you do that? I cannot.
It's just a thought.
Is it
In the
thoughts?
end,
Yeah,
our
exactly.
thoughts are our biggest friends and biggest enemies. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
But is there anything else you want to share? I don't know, about your life, about any lessons, or do you have like a motto of life that your father maybe taught you, or any book that you've read recently, or
Oof.
many?
I mean, I have a lot. I cannot remember now, but I remember Tim Story told me to read a book from Ray. Now I don't even remember. Anyway, Tim was very. He liked me from the beginning, and he said the reason I really got close to you was because you were very transparent. And he said people like to be closed books. People think it's smart to keep things for themselves because people will steal from them, or
Yeah, don't want to show the
they don't want to show the
vulnerable side,
vulnerabilities. And
yeah.
a lot of people. I was open straight away with him. I told him in the toilet when we were there for 2 seconds, I told him how my dad passed away and everything just, I am like that. I can tell the stranger my life, and people are like, why you do that? This is going to hit you back. But it never, ever has hit me back, because being transparent to someone opens up the other person to be transparent to you.
They feel
And if they
safe.
don't like you, then you've already sold out, you already divided out the people you don't want in your life.
Yeah.
Whoever likes you for who you are. So just be transparent
Yeah.
all the
Might
time.
just be who I am, no?
You are, yeah, exactly.
It's
And don't be
true.
afraid of telling things that are personal even. I mean, to an extent, of
Yes,
course, you don't want to bore
yes.
people with your...
No, but it's true. Even let's say with the small talk or chit chat, a lot of
Yeah.
people are just like, yeah.
They
what's
hold
going
themselves
on?
in.
Yeah, instead of saying, oh, I've had a hard day today, actually,
Yeah.
or this happened, they were like, yeah, me too, actually, and then you feel more of a
Exactly.
connection. I think. I
Exactly.
think that's why you said, like, when you open up, the other one opens up, and that's when you connect.
That's
to people.
when you connect.
And I think that's why you also connect
Yes.
very well to people, because we all have the same kind of problems.
Definitely.
Maybe on a different level, at a different time of
Yeah.
our lives, but we've all lost someone. We've all had hard times. We all struggle with something.
100%.
So it's true
No.
that you have to share a bit more, and then you
Connections.
get a bit more back.
Yeah, but you know as well that how important
Yes.
connections
Yeah.
are. Like
Yeah.
especially when you live in Marbella, people come from all around the world, and you need to be able to connect. Everybody is not extrovert. I'm not extrovert. I'm introvert. But I've learned that, or I know I like to connect, and because it's a part of my introvert person opening up. And actually, another thing that makes me and Christina such a good couple is that she lets me be the person I want to be, and that was my biggest fear of becoming in a relationship. I was like, I love to travel and just meet people out and talk to them and let them in my life. What if I have a girlfriend that's jealous or don't let me? But she's the same. She loves, like, our favorite thing when we travel is what I would do if I would travel alone, is to meet new people and then hang out with them and then go to a bar and then talk to the person next to us in the bar. Whereas a lot of people are like, why are you talking to him? I'm here.
Yeah.
And that mentality is very Swedish, actually, In Spain, when we are here, the beauty of Marbella, as you know, is you can
Yes.
sit in a restaurant and you can just talk to
Everyone's
the
a
people
friend.
next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In Sweden, if you do that, they're like, why are you talking to
Yeah,
me?
like,
I have my
do I know
childhood
you?
friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Estonia is like that too.
Same,
Or
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
close-minded.
Yeah.
But the ones who travel
Exactly.
are getting.
That's
the
why I
hang
always
of
say
it.
it's more important where you have
Yeah.
been than where you're from. Because you can come from Estonia, but if you're an Estonian that have been in a lot of countries,
Yes.
that works like this,
Yeah.
then you become like that.
Yeah.
You're not a typical Estonian.
No, I don't even know what.
What would
I
you
mean,
say?
I'd say I'm Estonian, but really my mentality is definitely not Estonian.
Yeah.
I've always known I want to leave Estonia, not because I don't like the country, but I always felt like I want to experience more,
Yes.
I want to see more, I want
Yes.
to travel more. And
To reach more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also just to change the perspective a bit more, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Once you travel, you meet more people. I can say I like this, but I don't know if I haven't tried the 10 other countries. Maybe
Yeah,
I
exactly.
also like the 10 other countries. So
Yeah.
I think as long as you can, traveling is
It's the
really-
best.
It's the best thing.
Travel is life, no?
Yeah, it's everything.
Do you think that we travel less because we live in Marbella or more?
More,
I think so too.
I think so. Well, already because
Because it's so nice to
by
get back.
car, that's true. Marbella is great, but you do need to get out of here.
You do- you
just
do
to
need to.
realize where you live again. But also we have so many amazing like road trips, just 2 hours from us. You know, Tarifa,
Yes,
Sevilla,
yes, yes,
Granada,
yes.
Malaga.
Oh, I love to do those
I mean,
things.
Morocco. I haven't been, but I know it's just like
It's just
there.
over there. You see it.
I mean, and then you can. I've gone to Madrid probably, I don't know, 5 times in the
Yeah,
last 2
yeah.
years or something. It's really, really easy to
It's
travel,
so
and there's
much.
still
Portugal,
so much more.
no, close to
And-
us.
Yeah, and Ronda.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
Ronda.
yeah, no, I love
I'm
it
going
too.
next week to Ronda again.
100%.
I mean, and this is just a little
That
bit.
is
There's so much more. Almeria, Cabo de Gata.
There is so much.
I mean, I can Nerja,
Yeah.
stunning caves,
Yeah.
amazing waterfalls.
I mean, that's what we have all of that. We have
Yeah.
cities, we have the nature, we have everything. But for me, sometimes traveling far away gives me a perspective
also.
that I need. I need to get away from the Spanish mentality and culture a little bit, the food. Because then I miss it
Yeah,
again. Then
that's
I want
true.
to have my
Yes.
gambas filpil
Yeah.
and all these
Yeah.
things. But for us, Asia is
Yeah,
the best place to go, I think.
I love Asian food.
You get, Asian food, Asian people. You become a
Yeah,
kinder
nature.
person when you go to Thailand, for example.
Yeah.
People are so nice to you, and then you just take that and you come back and you're nice for a few
Yes.
months. And then
No,
you get
we
back
are
to
nice. We are actually
Yeah,
very
yeah,
nice
yeah,
here. I mean, honestly, I think everyone is really friendly and
Yeah.
and in the shops helpful and also when you have kids, you'll see that also the Spanish are so welcoming with kids. When
That's
the kids
true,
are
no?
like
Yeah.
in the strollers in the restaurant, no one is looking at you
Yeah.
weird. So
That's
honestly,
good.
yeah, I love the
Yeah.
Spanish mentality in that sense. Too.
Yeah.
Super friendly. Italians as well. Some
Yeah.
other countries I'm not going to name.
No,
them.
let's not
But-
name them.
But Abu Dhabi, I
Yeah.
had the most amazing experience as
Oh,
well.
yeah?
So
I've heard
friendly,
about
everyone.
Asia as well, that they take your child and they put them like
Yeah.
they help you, you
Yeah.
know, and that's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
good.
it's-
If you
it's
want to
great.
travel with children, which
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah, you're
straight
gonna,
away.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we're gonna touch quickly about Marbella.
Yes.
Tell me some of your favorite places in Marbella. Where are you hanging out if you're not in your clinic?
Okay. Oh. I
Maybe
always
not all of
change.
them.
Yeah.
Just like let's say top 3, 5, and then the rest I'll put on my blog, so people
Okay.
go and check them.
So are we
But you
talking?
always know nice places.
Yeah. I mean, I always try to change, but are we talking restaurants?
Yeah.
Or just
restaurants and
places to-
overall.
Okay, so as many people probably would say, I have something for Puente Romano.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if Puente Romano wasn't part of Marbella, it would feel very strange. Yeah,
I
because
agree.
it has something.
Yeah.
No?
It's the heart of Marbella.
It is
Like,
somehow.
I have this love affair with
Yeah.
Puente Romano that I'm like, I go there, I feel good
Yeah,
already, like in the gardens already.
Exactly.
And the cafeterias. I mean,
it
whatever
has a little
they
bit of
do,
everything. It has a balance there.
It's just perfection, let's say.
And hanging there like at this age when you might not go clubbing as much or going to like bar hopping so much, then Puente Romano is somewhere where you can just go and feel this vibe. If it's winter, it's cozy. If it's summer, it's just summer feeling. If it's spring, it's spring feeling. You go with the flow there. You sit in the La Plaza and the restaurants are good. I think like actually one of my new favorite restaurants is El Pimpi because people, I don't know why people actually down talk it sometimes on reviews because they're tourists and they think it's expensive but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
You get the full experience. You get the dancing and the flamenco and the food is really, really good. That's so Puente Romano is one of my favorite places. Forum has just opened. I love the places there. I love to hang out there. But for us, we like to find a little bit undercover places, no? And one of my favorite meat restaurants is Cidreria Usatewi.
Yes,
Have
I've
you
been
been?
there once. Yes,
I love that place.
very hidden.
Very hidden and very old. Been there for 30, 40 years, and the meat is amazing there.
Yeah.
I really love that place. But also we try to go out to Tarifa, to
Yeah.
Ronda. There is a place in Tarifa that I can recommend here. It's
Yeah.
a secret food association.
Mm-hmm.
You call there in the morning. They make
Uh-huh.
the menu up for you.
Wow.
It's a little place, beautiful place in the mountains, and everything is done in their wood oven from the wood around them. Yeah.
Wow.
And they make you a menu, and you can drink all you want of their wine for 30 euros.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like a 6-course menu or 5-course menu.
I need that.
The name is, let me see if I remember it. The name is...
Better if you don't even
I don't
say
say
it.
it. I'm going to find it.
You're gonna put it in
Yeah,
put it in my blog if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah,
the
yeah,
name.
yeah.
You have to
I'll
go,
give you the name later.
or you have to message me.
Yeah, yeah.
You get the name.
Yeah.
But I will
And-
definitely go and experience that. I love this
Yeah.
kind of. I get so many amazing tips from my guests. Honestly,
Yeah,
of that
It's good. You can make a
there's-
list, huh?
Yeah, I have the list. All of my guests have the list, and
Yeah.
I keep it in my phone also. So when I don't know where to go next, I'm gonna try something
Perfect.
new because there's so many places to go,
Yeah.
and sometimes you get stuck. You feel like, oh, where are we gonna go? So
Definitely.
just ask.
I have
some-
one more hidden place. I
Yeah.
remember. It's in San Pedro.
Mhm.
It's called, I have brain fog now, but it's a small little place next to Alfredo's.
Yes.
Everybody knows Alfredo's.
Yes.
So it's like the place in the corner there. It's a little
I know,
bar. It's called.
Oh my God, I have a brain fog. I know that
yeah,
one. It's
yeah.
the same owner as Maravierta.
Yeah?
Yes,
Maybe.
the tapas place.
Yeah, the tapas place. He has the best
Yes,
tortilla,
I
the
love that
patata,
tapas
and the
place.
best tomatoes in Spain.
I go there a lot.
And you know what? Who gave me the tip of the tomatoes there?
No.
Another of my favorite place, Finca Donaira.
Yes.
I was in Finca Donaira, and the lady there, I don't remember her name again, but I was so in love with the tomatoes there. I said, "Where do you find these tomatoes in Marbella?" She said, "There's one place."
Isn't it Colonia?
No,
not
no.
Colonia.
Oh my
Something
God.
with a C. No.
I'm gonna go there tonight just because of that.
I hate when that happens.
But he's
yeah,
such a
I know
sweet
that
man
place.
as well. He comes sit at the
Yes.
table with you, and you eat the tortilla de patata, the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Not a lot in the menu, but it's great place, and he
That's
knows
true.
his wines.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I like also we have this great mix of these modern places, which I love in Puerto
Yeah.
Romano, also these, all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
trendy places, but these old restaurants, like
We have
you
those
said,
as well, yeah.
they are really, really.
And
this is
they're
where you get-
disappearing a little bit.
Yeah, which
Like,
is sad.
Which is very sad because I sometimes go to Fuengirola to find those kind of restaurants.
Mm.
They have so much more.
There is, I'll give you a
Yeah.
place, but probably you know it. Next to Farolillos is Manolo also.
Manolo, I
Which is the
know. Yeah,
best
very
fish.
good. Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the best
yeah,
tuna
very,
carpaccio
very
and
nice.
rodaballo and
Yeah.
lobina and
Yeah.
like honestly, like for me, it's
Super.
the best fish
Yeah.
in Marbella.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's so many, but like
Yeah.
one of the best places.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's also a place where you don't even have prices in the menu. It's like
You just
I
take
love
what's
that.
on the
and
menu,
he's
what-
always there. You know, like it's such
He,
a
when they decide the menu for you, I love
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great, great.
Yeah.
And I don't know, anything else you want to share about Marbella?
Hmm.
What do you love about here? Obviously, besides the obvious.
Ooh, I love the
obvious.
hikes. I love
Yeah.
the nature. We do every week once at least, except now because of these larvas, the caterpillars that are
Uh-huh.
dangerous for the dogs. But that's why we live here. We
Mm-hmm.
go down to the river there. I think I know more than 15 different waterfalls,
Wow.
not just here, but all around
I
from
need to-
Ronda
I
and all.
need to come with you.
Yeah,
don't
I want to
know
make a map
this.
about. Like, I
Yeah.
was seriously thinking. I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I have best job for you.
Yeah.
If you want, it's like a nice job. I will give you a nice map. I'll make you an app, and then we get you a van, and you take tourist groups on Airbnb experiences and go around and just show them
Honestly.
around.
Yeah, I will come.
She loves it too, and it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
the nature here is something different. So I love the mix of having the ocean and the mountain, and being able to go so easy from A to B. That at least used to be
Yeah.
more easy. It's still easy.
Yeah,
It's,
the traffic here is getting a little bit
it's getting a little bit
crazy,
yeah.
but then, you know, you can't complain. You can't, you know,
Cannot,
like,
because if you go one day to LA,
exactly.
you
or
see the traffic
London.
there, or London.
Yeah, I mean, look, with
Can't
this
compare.
fresh air,
Exactly.
beautiful nature.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for, I love talking to you. I think I can talk another
Yeah.
hour.
Well,
And
next time we do it over a drink.
We'll do it
Yeah.
at sunset one.
Yeah.
And let's go see the house.
Yeah.
I can't wait
please,
to see the house.
please.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, we can do that. Thank you very much.
This episode is brought to you by Sandon, a family-run furniture company with a brand new flagship store in Forum Marbella.